Can a robot tell me what the worst Fortnite season is?
Can you?
Well, actually, yes, I can. Fortnite Chapter 2 Season 6 is like the poop stain that you can't get out of your underwear of Fortnite seasons. You know, because before Chapter 2 Season 6, it was Chapter 2 Season 5, a goated season. And then after that, we had Chapter 2 Season 7, another goated season. But in that middle, we have what is Chapter 2 Season 6. Arguably, the worst Fortnite season in Fortnite history. And you might be wondering, what makes that Fortnite season so terrible? Let me explain it to you, bro. The loot pool, right? Like, let me just begin with the loot pool, bro. Genuinely some of the worst loot pool we've ever seen in all of Fortnite. Because for the beginning of the season, they completely vaulted any normal, like, gun, you know, like the normal assault rifle, the standard pump, standard attack. Vaulted all of that for the primal weapons. Which, like, people say some guns are bad in Fortnite, but oh my god, the primal weapons, dude. Never had first shot accuracy. Right. And the most damage that the pump shotgun would hit, the primal pump would hit, is about 40. And that's like golden loot. And that's like in their throat as well. It's like, brother, what? Brother, what are we doing, bro? 40 damage max? Come on. And not only that, right? Later on in the season, they added this mechanic called crafting, right? And to craft items, right? You could craft your normal assault rifle, your normal standard pump. But to do it, you had to damage the car you were driving. And by the way, Chapter 2 was a big map, so you had to have a car to get place to place. Because this was before sprinting and everything. And there were like no movement items this season, which I'll get to later in the video, right? You had to break cars to get gears that you could use to craft your standard assault rifle and pump. Which is like so tedious, because like, why couldn't we just use our metal, you know? And now, not to mention, the lack of movement in this season, dude. There was about, you know, like the standard car and stuff, which car spawns were reduced for some reason. There were like no movement items other than the Spire jump boots, which you had to complete an entire side mission to unlock. Or some like back bling item, which was low-key butt and did nothing but like increase your movement speed a little bit and hide you from animals. And speaking of animals, dude, the animals were mad annoying, dude. Raptors were so strong for no reason, right? And they could run extremely fast. And again, this was before sprinting, so you couldn't run them at all. And once you killed them, they would drop about, at most, 3 pieces of meat. You could kill the raptors for meat. And they dropped meat, which is pretty cool, because you could eat it and it would heal like 15 health. But the most you could hold in a stack would only heal up to 60, which sounds pretty good, but in comparison to a Band-Aid, which, like, when was the last time you used a bandage, dude? A Band-Aid with a full stack can heal 225 health. Which is like, wow. And, like, animals would sound pretty cool if you could ride them back in the day, like how you were able to ride them in Chapter 3. But no, back then, you could not ride the animals. They were only to fight you, and jump you, and kill you, and probably dig in your butt. Which low-key sucks. Anyways, back to the items. The movement items this season, terrible. Completely terrible. The orb item I was talking about earlier, you had to drop out of the bus, right? And glide to a Spire outpost, kill the Spire outpost boss, right? Right. And once you kill that Spire outpost boss, you would drop a Spire orb. And you would have to bring that Spire orb across the entire map to the middle of the map to the Spire. And then you would have to drop it off in there. And by the way, as you're holding the orb, you cannot fight anybody. If you were getting shot at, you would just have to take it like the good femboy we are. Which is like, dude, that's a booty. That's a booty. And what's even crazy was the item wasn't even that good. Dog made a statement so bad his entire gang clowned on him, dude. The item was so butt. The item was so bad, I wouldn't even count it as movement personally. You had to jump like 3 times in a row for it to actually like initiate the double jump and then the glider replay, which was actually butt. And it would also take up an inventory slot, which is also pretty butt. Let's get off of the bad stuff, you know, let's start talking about something good. The only good thing about Chapter 2 Season 6, in my opinion, would be the lore. Because the way they teased the next season, and this isn't even about Chapter 2 Season 6, man, this is teasing Chapter 2 Season 7. The way they teased Chapter 2 Season 7, it was amazing, it was phenomenal, right? They would send popular streamers like CypherPK and Nick830 and such like that. Different items and gifts and such that would tease the next season. Like they would get alien-themed toys or an alien-themed figures or a map or a picture of, like, or a screenshot of the next season, which is pretty sick, honestly. I honestly think that was, like, the best part of the season, teasing the next season, in my opinion, which, therefore, makes this season way worse than the Holocaust.